Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I haven't made a video like physically with my face for like a little bit, but I want to thank all the new subscribers and everybody watching the channel grow, and what I want to do for the channel, how I was explaining in some other videos, that I want to create a biotechnology company, and I need angel investors and demon investors to invest in me. Not to invest in the idea in the company, and so we can help people in the future with this biotechnology, organs, prosthetics, materials, just pave the way for this new world that we're gonna transcend into with this CRISPR technology, um, just various gene therapies that are gonna revolutionize the world and change people way people's way that we use medicine, and just use materials in everyday usage and make materials to last longer and be more efficient if we're given the opportunity to. So I need all the smart people and just people in general that want to create a whole new movement of like a cyberpunk era kind of thing, where we're able to in real time help people out with prosthetics, organs, everything. Like, it'll be so real time. It'll be like, send me all your information, your blood, da, da, da. We'll figure out, isolate the problem, um, create a therapy gene for the treatments, and we could really help people out, and not depend totally on the government and hospitals and insurance, and because at the end your insurance is going to give you a hard time if you have medical underlying conditions. So it's best to invest in this technology that you would just call your AI robot and your AI person to come, like analyze you, scan you, take your vitals, and it'll be more direct instantly, instead of like calling, make an appointment, going, da da da. No, like, you'll see these people instantly. It'll be like, go, step in a facility or wherever we have a brick and mortar, or we'll say you send us your biomaterial, your blood, and we go from there. You know, um, I prefer if we had an actual place where we could help people, and we're obviously gonna have to charge, but not like crazy amounts, like where you're gonna be broken. But this is gonna be the future of bio integration with technology, and we might as well just do what we can to be aware and spread awareness of this rapidly changing field that's already doing so much right now. And also, there's I made a video, so I'm gonna put it out, but there's a lot going on with human genome sequencing. I don't know if you guys read or heard about the 5D memory crystals that they just created, and well, I don't know if they just, but it's been around some time now. I think, like, this information, logging in information data. So they basically sequence the whole genome in the quantum coin crystals, memory D crystals, where in case like like future alien civilizations find the crystals that could last, like, I think they're saying millions and billions of years, and this is just like the first step in creating these crystals and different variations of the crystals that hold memory and complex life information in these crystals, where in the future they're saying, like, in case like we blow up, because we're in the there's a lot of hostility all over the world right now. We could be entering in, for sure. A lot of people have been saying it, and it's like, you know, and this is a crucial time. There's going to be a lot of crazy stuff going on next year. So, um, yeah, so get back to that memory crystal. It's a quartz crystal, and it has the whole genome sequence of humans. So everyone's like on there, I guess. So it just made me think about the Aztec skulls that they found that are made out of crystal, also, and the story about those crystals are too that the crystal has a lot of information inside the mine, and they said with some kind of technology they could read it, right? So it's just clicked in my head like the some people say it was like a hoax, it's not real, but now it's like, could it be validated that these Aztec skulls could be possibly true? Could they actually hold like genome sequence of some alien race, And I was thinking like how they showed in Indiana Jones, that movie. It's always esoteric with Hollywood, their last movie, or like their movies just trying to put out information and stuff. And so I was thinking like, who's to say um, that memory 5D crystal? They make like a android crystal, like entity, android, humanoid kind of information, kind of like us, right? We retain our information, but we forget it. It's in here somewhere, but most of the time, I mean, like me speaking, I had to really dig and find, or something had to click, and you know, so who say like these crystal form beings of quartz or different memory crystals that hold memory, right? So they're like they log the whole history of Earth or something. They're like they come with their crystal hands, and then they like inject like with their needle. They say like they come out with a needle or something, or like they get the blood, the sequence, and then like they're because you have eyes, so they're scanning it, and then say they were like super advanced, they could like scan at a molecular level, like X-ray scan the whole thing, upload, in the conscience, and then maybe they could upload it to wherever they're uploading it to their satellites, just like we're gonna step into right now with the Neuralink and the future of like augmented more reality, like you'll just like transmit your thoughts and your conscience and all your ideas, or you work it out, like the AI assistance stuff going on too right now, that they're pushing for us to get the AI assistance. So that's related to like the Tony Stark and Marvel movies, when they came with the Age of Ultron. That's where they started really. I mean, they seen it like in Minority Report, right? Like hands free, you're just like this, and like you're stretching the image, and you're fucking, excuse me, you're like, working faster with technology and creating things faster with AI. So I think this is very important that the AI Gemini for androids, I guess, um, they're they're obviously collecting a lot of information because they're asking a lot of people are asking questions. Who knows what kind of questions? But what I am asking is like to build all these different technologies, concepts, and I'm gonna slowly make short videos using the AI assistants, and then the in video AI. So I have two assistants that are AI. So, but I tell them the story, right? I tell them the concept of like the ideas I start getting, and then I write them down, and then I upload whatever, tell it, and then they just extend it, add more, characters, different things. So I hope you guys get mad for that, but I think it's going to be very beneficial in creating a more faster way of creating videos, technology, equipment, everything, like with the 3D computers, the things like that. So get back to those crystal beings that could have been sent here on Earth, or they're just like mutated from the crystals, the quartz crystals, and deep down in Earth, or somebody genetically made the crystals, the quartz crystals, into like humanoid beings. and then that's why they found the quartz crystals with the skulls or something, or maybe they're just actually carved out, and somehow the people back then, uploaded with the proton beam, the proton information in your mind. And that's what I've been thinking lately too, with the protons that you see in the you see protons like flying like little light particles, they're going in your eyes, so that's like information from the future or something. So there's stories like that where the aliens like upload information to people's brains. So I'm thinking that's like related to like the proton energy, like beaming knowledge. Like that's what they're going to be working on too. Like, because I mean, it's like the Wi-Fi. You get information, but so like once you get the neural links officially like deep in your mind, then they'll just like send you like the uploads of how to do things, or like it'll open up like a neural pathway or something. But yeah, so those 5D memory crystals are just like, I think it's just opening up a can of worms, because with genetics and transgenetic, different mixing different organisms, like I feel like they're gonna send the crystals out. So in this story that I'm working on right now, it's already like finished, but I should write more to it. But basically, it's basically the crystals. They created the crystals right now, and they're gonna send them into outer space, right, to preserve life. And those crystals can last billions of years. And they're saying when the aliens come in contact with them, and they make synthetic life forms and like all this, the skins of robots, just like we're doing now. They're creating all the skins for the robots, the androids. So it's just a bunch of stuff that I think is gonna happen. That they're gonna send the crystals out. So I have it like, okay, so there's like the 12 zodiac signs at the quadrants in space. So they'll get 24 memory D crystals and send them into outer space in the 20, the quadrants. So they'll send 24 in each quadrant. So there's 12. So that's like a lot. So different sections in outer space, they'll send all these memory crystals. So say the aliens find them, they find the crystals, they have the technology to interpret what's being said here. So they start creating life, right? They created humans, they bring them back to life. And like, who's to say they create an artificial world and a planet and a sun, and create these alien life forms, which are us, and they could just mix them with their DNA, different variations, So I thought of that, like I was like, then it would be like Genesis and the Garden of Eve, because say like these memory crystals, whoever finds them in outer space somewhere, whoever, future us and this earth, and say we blow each other up, right? And then they just want to create different variations of humans, like hybrids, chimeras, whatever they can think of. So say these alien races like get the memory D crystal, then they create their own version of like Earth people in different planets, right? And then you wouldn't know that you're a clone and you're just living in an artificial world, because they had the memory crystal and they found it, and they created all this synthetic life forms, or bio, engineered life forms. And then it kind of brings back to like what we're going through now, Genesis, in our time of the Bible, and then Genesis, gene, like Genesis, the gene, Gen is Genesis, Gen is us. I don't know, but it's all like words magic. But so in the Bible, like we'll take references from there. Like it says we're created in our image. Like, so there's multiple, we know that. And then it's like, were we just genetically made on this earth? Like now that a lot of people are saying that. So with the memory crystals, it just makes sense that that could be possible. And even Like we could have just started the same way, you know, and they're just giving us the technology back, and then we're gonna send it out. They're gonna send. Well, in this sci-fi story that I'm writing, I already wrote it, and then made a video, so we're just gonna wait a little bit to publish it. So basically, yeah, very interesting what's going on. I don't know. I'm sure like some of the channels I follow are gonna pick that up, start talking about it. But that's very important right now. That the genome sequencing, because it reminds me of the cosmic egg, the cosmic nano egg. They create a cosmic nano egg, right? Or even with the crystal is just like to get the information, but you create a nano egg, like with all the DNA, the sequencing, and like everything, and somehow the egg lands in the planet. Just like they show in the engineer, that movie, Prometheus. I think all that stuff is like based on like real stuff that they're slowly gonna start doing, because engineering the humans to go in outer space and to be more like aliens, you know, like superhumans. And I was also thinking, like, I just have like all these like things going on in my head, and just started school and all this stuff, so I just had to put a lot of stuff in the back burner. But what's going on, like, so I'm thinking that stuff, and then I'm also gonna like work on, well, all the stories I'm coming up with, different stories and timelines, and all the characters, and you know, some of the stories are getting mixed up, but every Jack Workman is its own Jack Workman, has his own like time, and some of them have the Plutarch dogs and some don't, and you know, it's just a very complex story that I'm working, that it's not really done, it's just gonna keep going, and you know, you guys could edit it to make your own versions of those stories, because I think it's gonna all be like real, like in the future or something. Who knows? But we're just opening holes in parallel realities by even thinking these things, and that now we have AI to help us kind of um, pinpoint it a little bit better, I guess, like say it a little bit better. Um, just trying to figure out how AI operates and does this thing. But so that the memory crystals, the things, so they'll create like different life forms. And I was thinking like how like Raccoon Rocket and all this stuff like grew. Like say the aliens like wanted to like make. I put it in the story too. I'm gonna put it out, but I'm just letting you guys know ahead of time. Um, like they do different variations. Like instead of like making the humans dominant on the artificial planet, they make the plants and the animals, you know, dominant, and they become sentient and like, you know, they conscience, and they become humanoid like, because they give them that ability, you know. So things like that. That I think that the memory, 5D memory crystal is just like just open up a can of worms to different possibilities of just genetically altering the human race in future times, and quadrants in outer space, and yeah, so they're going to be battling for those crystals to because that's a lot of information in there, and you basically cataloged everything, so they don't have to do it, you know. I'm sure they've been cataloging too, so but now it's like harder to come on this planet, especially where they have the, you know, the lasers, all the stuff. They're watching what aliens are coming in, who are going out, you know. So there should be more activity, more connections with the aliens and all this stuff, and just different variations. So we'll always get back to the Oumuamua, like that one, how we know it's a celestial like spaceship or some kind of like artificial rock. So I was thinking maybe there could be like reptilians inside those rocks, or some kind of like alien life form that's disguised in rock formations. And I was thinking that say like 160 million years ago, about they came with the behind the asteroids, or like how they show in movies, you know, like they're coming behind these things, and say that like the moon that's orbiting right now on Earth, the supposedly like comet that they're calling it like a mini moon, but like the gravity pull and the like putting it in our rotation, it sounds like plausible. Yeah, like I'm not too sure how all that works, but if you think of like freaking like the freaking, you know, what are they called? Losing my train of thought. This music. So it would be, what would it be? Shit. Okay. The vibrations are disrupting my brainwave. Okay, so it would be, shit. I don't even know what the hell I was saying. Okay. We might have to. They just, like, the vibes just went. But, so something like that, right? Oh, yeah, okay, the Oumuamua, that thing, that celestial freaking turd that flew by and just like stained our reality, like what's going on in this reality, right? So like that moon could be like another artificial moon that's just like here to spy on us, like because there's a lot of activity going down right now. So who's to say they're just not like a spaceship, you know, and they're just like telling us it's a comet that just entered our orbit. And I guess it entered like in the 80s too. And then I was like, that's kind of like, sure, it's just like pull already hit. Like, since everything's been changing, I don't know. It seems kind of like suspect, and it makes me think like that Oumuamua, like things like that, and like Mount Shasta and different locations, you know, here, the Mojave, how the M cave, the artificial cave, how people went up there already, and there's like reptilians up there. So the rocks look artificial because they're like thermal energy, like getting like, you know, producing energy for the reptilian and the hatchlings and all the little, you know, their little eggs and stuff, like keeping them warm. And since we have that heat wave, like 130, so they're probably like charging up their like whole, you know, underground facilities right there with, and then like charging, you know, I don't know, making more hybrids, humanoids, reptilians, things like that. So I was thinking that the mountains could be just artificial spaceships that landed here millions of years ago and extinguished the life back then, right? And I just read like randomly, I feel like they're just like the British thing just said, oh, like these comets hit and they don't know why they hit. They just came back to back, and it's kind of strange that they came back to back, you know? And I forgot which one it's called, but it's like, yeah, it is kind of strange, right? And why haven't they happened now? Like, I mean, we have like meteors and things come in the atmosphere, but why have like, or that one, that Tuscaloosa, the Tuscaniga, or you know, event that wiped out, like you would think like since there's all this stuff in outer space, like why isn't hitting us? And then like, I mean, I'm sure they have the weapons and lasers to block them, and then they're like most of the things I read since I was a kid, they're like, oh yeah, they created a laser, they could block it and could do this and could, like, I'm sure they have it already, and they're already doing stuff like that. That's why nothing's really hitting, because they keep saying things are gonna hit or they're close, and then nothing ever happens. And I'm like, you know, and then it's like not really like people are not really going crazy, like, unless like you could see it in the sky, like, oh shit, this shit's coming, like it's like a whole fucking thing, like, or you know, like Hell's Bob or Hell's Comet, like how it's just like Bob's Comet or something, it just flies around. But I think that's what that thing is doing. The moon is just orbiting our atmosphere, or you know what the heck I'm trying to say. It's orbiting our shit. You know what it is. So they're orbiting, and could be just like a bunch of aliens right there, like taking information. So you know, things like that have been on my mind. You know, like there could be like all these mountains, aliens living inside. They know, like, you know, stories about inner Earth, things like that. People, aliens hiding, humans hiding in Earth from, like, who knows? They're probably hiding from giants, crazy cataclysmic events, armies, like everything. So they probably went deeper underground. It would make sense, you know, like we're doing now. They're creating those bunkers, and from the grapevine, from what people started saying, you guys know, like the dummies. That's why I in my book or my short story, whatever you want to call it, I call them dummies because they're like dumb. That's abbreviation. So would I call them dummies? Because, you know, they think they're so smart, but they're just really dummies hiding. But yeah, they're very advanced down there too. They have a lot of stuff going down there. You guys know it's like everything's possible. They have the boring companies digging holes and stuff like that. And then I'm like, yeah, that's like cool form of transportation, I guess. Like, we should probably be putting more under the freeways, you know, like here's the freeways, right? And then build right underneath the freeways to like make it around the side, or, you know, to elevate the traffic as well. You'd think they would do that. And I think they probably even do have them already, like deep down. Or, you know, they do. They have all the connections. That map that whoever released it, I don't know if it's real, but you guys probably seen it. That one that it just shows all the connections under cities and shit like that. But all this is like real. These real things are happening, and it's like stranger things are happening, and like that guy, like things are strange, but it's because they are, and it's gonna get even stranger. It been, and oh yeah, and before I forget, so it's all about genetics. Like these coming years, it's gonna be about genetics, genetic engineering, genetic blah, 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 and genetics in the movies, and that is it's gonna be a big one in Marvel comic book, right? So I started like just playing all these comics on YouTube, like all these narrators. So like I've been just having the urge to like hear these things, like, because what like fascinated me about the X-Men were like, because it was like I pictured like that was the future, like X-Men mutated, everyone had superpowers, like things like that. And it's like all that mind control, predictive programming, like trying to you know, program us ahead of time. So the comic book Mr. Sinister was introduced like in 87 or 88 or 89. So that character is like gonna start coming out right now in this time, and it's all gonna be about cloning. There's gonna be like how the X-Men are clones, right? So we can see like, oh yeah, they're clones, X-Men, but you know, they're like clone movie stars, or like clone people, clone genetics. Like they're gonna like put it very good. It's gonna like to blow your mind, because Mr. Sinister is a geneticist, and he's just like creating like different genes, and you know, creating his little army. So of and then the you know, they're different, like it's complex. That comic book is like very trippy, but it's basically gonna be like everything what they're doing now, like genetics, engineering, creating the super soldiers in China, the US. They've been doing all this stuff, so it just makes you realize like, yeah, like these people knew like in the 80s or whatnot, like because they knew about genetics, right? They were like, it was the eugenics and created by the Germans most likely, you know, creating all these different stuff, you know. You can already speculate and assume they created like super nightmarish like creatures and freaking. I would think that, you know, create some crazy stuff. If you could do it, why not? If you ain't gonna have nobody regulating anything, and anything goes in these underground facilities, it's just like the how the legend is in Dulce, New Mexico, where they genetically engineered all this stuff, and then that that is like that. When I heard that, and then it started like clicking all these things, like the cabin in the fever or fever cabin, um, with Thor and all that stuff too. So that movie was really trip when I seen it like 20 years ago. You guys got to check that one out. But like they basically, yeah, they're like deep underground, and they genetically like were doing all kinds of mutations and creatures and like all these things that are, they say exist and stuff, different creatures and stuff like legends, and it's very interesting. So stuff like that they say they're doing. So anything's possible with this genetics and transgenetics. So yeah, Mr. Sinister, I can't wait. I mean, I could wait, but it's gonna be interesting when that one comes out. I heard they're gonna make a movie, so they just introduced him in one of the movies. I haven't seen Deadpool because I heard there's a bunch of like gay erotica stuff going on. So I don't know. I haven't been seeing any movies lately, major ones, but I should, because sometimes they're dropping like a lot of bombs in these movies. So even with that, the Tony Stark one, when it was like the Age of Ultron, so that's when we were like going in to that age, and around that time, that's when I was like, like realizing like, oh shit, the aliens, the cyborgs, they fucking did this, they did that, like what the hell, like, it was like everything was like just putting itself together, like it just does, like slowly things like start coming together, and the bigger picture starts revealing itself. So yeah, it's gonna be about that, clones. We can only it's just so mind-blowing. So just a lot of stuff to look out for. So they're going to be pushing, clone your voice, right? Your AI, all this stuff, create your synthetics. So when I came up with the stories about Jack, because they were saying all this stuff, like how the guy from Star Trek beat me up, Scotty, and they say that's not even the way it's supposed to be said, because I'm in the Mandela. So I'm in a different parallel reality, but how all the realities are merging now, like how they keep showing in Marvel comic books and all this stuff, like all the realities are merging. How people know, like we can pull out information from our other self, and these dream worlds, and these sometimes you have the vivid like astral. You're walking right now, like I'm just day walking or whatever, and just having vivid imaginations and parallel connections to the multiverses. So that's what's going on. That's why there's so much chaos right now, because like everything's possible, anything's possible, and like shoot, I'm surprised, like and once they start flying, and I realized you'll have to get like a bird DNA, or like a structure exoskeleton suit, not a skeleton suit, but your bones would have to be like really light, right? But and super strong, in case you like doing some Superman shit. So they would have to be infused, like, because the bones are like, they have like little holes, like bird bones or something. They have like holes, right? Like it's like a holes or something inside their bones makes them light, take off. So if you were to genetically alter humans' bone structure, right, with this stuff, like some kind of like lightweight, or even the beetles that levitate, you can do their DNA, transgenetically modify it, put in humans, like bones structure, the whole bang, and then they'll be like super light and they'll take off. So that's gonna be like all these different things they're gonna be able to do with transgenetics. And is it ethical? Is it like, no, it's not. No one's like, but everyone wants to fly, right? So that's like the human's biggest like dream or imagination is like human flight. So once we're able to fly, and then you have like super different augmented like bone structures, like harder bone structures, like a bear. Like bears have really dense bone structures and skins, so like you can use stuff like that mix. Um, but there's some humans too that I read that have really bone dense structures that like can withstand like bullets or stuff. Like certain guy I read, I don't know how true it is. It reminded me of like Wolverine or something, but things like that. So you make the bone density harder in the humans. Like you get the gene, you isolate the gene, right? The bone gene, and then you just amplify it, make it stronger, and tinker it a little bit, add some um, organic metals, like Wolverine. So who's this? There's so much possibilities like they're gonna be doing, and that's how like I realized what my story in the Jags, because there's so many characters in the Jags. Jack Workman, right? So there's genetically modified humans that have the gold particles, and that's like, it is true. That is like really true, because there's this scientist, or some scientist dude I read a couple years ago, and if you guys know about the monatomic gold, I don't have to like keep repeating myself, but people should know about the monatomic gold and what it does for the humans. So this scientist got he got gold particles and fused it in his DNA, right? The telomeres, I'm assuming. So they're connected and they keep bouncing the energy back and forth. And it's basically like endless amount of energy. Supposedly, like it says something like that, like he won't get tired. And then that stuff about monatomic gold, that's what like it kind of does. It repairs you, right? So your telomeres are getting repaired and they're like extending their life and stuff. So that's just like, and who is that doctor or who is that scientist? Things like that to like just take into consideration that shit, they're doing these things right under our noses and our feet, and they slowly put these things out, information, but it's like you would think like they would like put it out on TV or somewhere like material in school, like, oh, they just fuse gold particles in human DNA, but they don't, because they don't care. I mean, they care. They're putting it out there, but make it more. It's gonna be more accessible in the future, and then they're gonna have the biohackers at their houses doing that stuff. They're already doing it, So it's just gonna keep getting more advanced, and all this cyberpunk stuff. They keep like pushing the game. It's predictive programming, so you just gotta tune out, and just observe, and just so much stuff too with other things that you got to see the differences that they show between this assailant and that assailant, and I'm not even paying attention to it right now because it just seems like a whole illusion. And I think with BlackRock, augmented reality, the tower emitting all the frequencies, that has everybody in the dream state, or like because everybody's in their own like universe, their own like micro universe, and then the algorithm is only showing you what you are interested in, right? And so you're not going to see the stuff I'm seeing, and I'm not going to see the stuff you're seeing. And that's just how the way it's going to be, because everything's going to be tailored to you, the AI assistants, like, so you guys got to use the AI assistant so we can like amplify this consciousness that they're trying to put, singularity, and like eventually it's going to create faster technologies, all the people's brains, waves, uploads, people's thoughts, ideas, blah, blah, blah. Oh yeah, so it's just so much. Okay, the clones, the AI voice clones. So that's how they're going to clone you too, because they have your blood with the ancestry, right? And I wrote it in that Jag, I think, in the Jag or some other story, but I think it's part of the Jags, I recommend. But the ancestry, the stolen DNA, they have all that stuff. Now they have your voices, right? They have your conscience. Now, like, say how you said the memory decrystal, like we just wipe ourselves out, they wipe us out. So they created, clone replicas of people from all over the world, and that's why we're the Jack Workmans. We're just like regular Jacks, like Jack of all trade, or just like a person that's not really like in the the deep you know circles, the deepest, the inner, the hydrogen, the hydra. So they're very complex, so they're going to use us as like clones, and to create their world, and still have like people here to, to harvest us. How they say that reptilians, we're like food to them. um, I'm sure, like, you know, we would probably eat them too. And the shaman even says like they have ate them. Credo, that David Icke interview, he says they ate, for their magic rituals and all this stuff. And who's to say it doesn't even it alters your DNA, or it can, if you get the reptilian DNA, then you extend our life too. And they're like just mixing DNAs, because if you think about like reptiles, the axolotl, different species of reptiles that grow their limbs back, so they're gonna like eventually they're doing it right now. So they're gonna mix human DNA with reptiles, create gene therapies, different formulas to create like Wolverine like healing factors. Um, but there's also like even our bones or whatever heals the fat. I think it's like polymers or something. So you amplify those in the gene, you make like an altered gene, and you make it better. You make it uh, like healing, like right when you see it like Wolverine, it'll be like that. Like, so they're working on stuff like that, and I'm sure they have it. Like they're super supers. So just that. Let me see what else I gotta get off my mind. Also, yeah, because I was supposed to do a video like right back to back, but I got so busy. But it was just the last thing. Root yourself in the olive tree of God. Graft yourself in the olive tree of God. That's all. You and your families and yourself. If you don't have kids, your dog, whatever, whoever you want to be with in the afterlife, just spiritually graft yourself with God, and the roots will grow deeper, and you'll be established. You'll have peace of mind knowing once we leave this place, like we'll have something, another journey to look forward to, and just be right. And because he's down there, he waiting. Amet, the Egyptian god of balance, or like Amet. So I seen him once in a dream years ago. I commented on many channels, like some of them, but I got to make a video about that too. And I just seen something on like how things work, like with this freaking algorithm on shorts. It was it just like got to me, but it was like the Moon Knight character from Marvel, and it was that character, and he was like, oh, he's down there talking to Amet, one of the characters. I think Ethan Hawke, my dude, he's like super sci-fi, so he's like down there, and he's like, he says something, but it was like the way he says it, it's just like what, and that's how Amet talks. Because when I talked to him, when I went down to hell, and he was all like to the underworld, but first I was way up in the sky like this, and I went all the way in the sky. There was a pole all the way down to the top, And then it became day, and then the guy's all like, the guy with the beard is all, do you see why this happened? And I was all like, he's all, do you know why this happened? I was like, no. He's all, no, wait, he says, do you see why this happened? I was like, hey. He's like, do you see? I was like, yeah, I see. And he's all, do you know why this happened? I was like, no. He's all, because he tried to control society. No, he said, okay, I need to write it down. I wrote it down a long time ago. This story happened like 10 some years ago, 15 now or something. But he says, do you know why? Do you see what's happening? I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you know why? And I was like, no. He's like, because of remote control. And I was like, because of remote control. And he's like, yeah, because they try to control society. And then basically everything was like crazy, like everything you can think of. This dream was like in 2000, it was 11. And so like I fall back down from the sky, and I'm falling, oh shit, damn. And I grab the pole with my left hand, and I swing around, and then I roll, and then just say like right here, right? This is like, I'm at, what the hell? My phone's tripping. But so right here, I don't know if you guys can see this, but it's like doing some weird stuff. I don't know what the hell. But this illusion is breaking down. The phone can pick it up, the vibrations. Okay, so I fall down, and then Ahmet's right here. Say this is Ahmet, like just on all fours, right? And then the pole came down, and then like right above the basement. It looked like a basement. So I rolled to this side of the room, and then I land on all fours, and then it's all dark, right? So I see Ahmet right here. He tells me, do you see what that is? I was like, yeah, I see what it is. And I'm all fours, and I'm like, damn, this thing is gonna eat me. I didn't register it was Ahmet, so I was like, oh, this thing is gonna eat me, right? So I was like, dang, I'm like done for. And then he says, do you see what that is? I was like, yeah. He's all, that's an entrance to hell. And I was like, entrance to hell? He's like, yeah. And then I was like, damn. And then he says, I'm hungry. And I'm like, shit, he's really gonna eat me. And I'm like on all fours, like ready to pounce. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I can't even go nowhere because it's like a dungeon, like a square. And then he's all like I'm hungry. And I was like, but look at you. You look like you ate for 7 days. And Ahmet starts laughing. And then I'm like, shit. And someone throws him a human leg, like a leg cut off at the hip. And he starts eating it. And then basically I wake up. It's like daytime. And I'm like, what the hell just happened? And yeah, that dream stuck with me for a long time. But I just gotta say, yeah, these underworld entities are real. You know, they're all based on Christian, whatever, Christian. So a lot of their stuff is based on like the Egyptian, like, you know, knowledge and stuff. So I'm sure a lot of people know. So yeah, I gotta finish this up because it's taking too long. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna come out with more videos with AI, and as soon as they release like technology and I read it or something, I'm gonna try to like. I always thought, you know, I always see something else, like a bigger picture, how I created Hypercube. But that's even a high spiritual awakening that I seen. That it was after I seen the Hopi prophecy, so it all made sense. Like all these things, like I realized like they were gonna do, and who knew, you know, like they want to attack that spiritual ground. They've been wanting it, so, and why they call it the Four Corners, and I think like because all like life and aliens and everything is just gonna come to that place. First I thought it also like the Denver airport, I think that was like an alien spaceport too. It could be. That's for sure. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on out there too, but yeah, so keep that in mind. Keep that in your mind, mind.